All right. So yeah, today we're going to be teaching on mouse shapes. It's going to be a fun class. Again, a foundational class that's going to be important as you continue on your digital literacy journey. This is one that you're going to use every day that you're on a computer. You'll use this skill. So this will be a fun one. This is being recorded, so we'll make sure to get this up on the YouTube page for Mission Africa within the next couple of days. And so here we go. So a couple of things that we're going to learn here today. We're going to learn how to check if the computer is connected to the internet. So that's obviously a very basic skill, but it's one that's important because as you travel around with your laptop or other devices, maybe you have a phone or you have like a tablet or even a laptop. It's very important to know how to connect to the Wi-Fi so that you can get internet at different locations, i.e. it might be a library, it could be a restaurant, it could be a school. Wi-Fi is what's going to connect your device to the internet. And so we'll talk about how to connect your computer to the internet using Wi-Fi. We're going to talk today. Hi, Hannah, by the way, welcome. Welcome to class today. If anyone needs any type of like closed captions at the bottom, translation to a different language, because maybe, English isn't your first language. If you need that, you can click on more at the bottom, and then you can go to captions. And there you will have an option for my caption language. And there's several choices you will have to have closed captions translated at the bottom of your screen as I'm speaking today. So if anyone needs help, feel free to interrupt or just let me know. We can help you out. Okay. Some other things we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about how to increase, decrease, and mute your volume on your laptop. So that's going to be an important one, of course. I was just on a call earlier. My wife came in, so I turned down the speakers on my laptop so I could talk to her, and then I turned them back up. So we're going to talk about how to mute, how to increase your volume, and how to decrease your volume. We're going to talk about when you're watching a video on your computer, how to go into full screen mode. And we're going to talk about how to get out of full screen mode once you are in full screen mode. So if you're taking up the whole screen and then you want to bring that back down so that you can do something else on your computer or see some other things going on, we're going to look at that. And then we're going to recognize and use the various different mouses or mouse pointers or shapes. And so I'll share my screen and we'll talk about that. And then obviously we will have some review at the end just to make sure everyone, learns something. And then we'll have some Q&A if you guys have any questions or want to learn about something else, maybe that's not on the calendar today. We can always open it up for a little bit at the end for just any random questions you guys might have. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and we'll get going today. Just 1 second. Okay. Share. Okay. You guys should see my screen over here now. Yes, it looks like you do. Perfect. And let me just bring that down. Okay. Awesome. So, yeah, so we're going to go ahead and just look at a couple different things here first before I get into the lesson. So there's a couple of different types of pointers. So you see my mouse here. You see it's white. It's right in the middle of the screen there, as you can see. And so this is my pointer. So as I am moving my mouse, and there's two ways to use a mouse, right? So I have this device. This is my mouse. Normally for your mouse, you have two buttons and you put your hand on it and your pointer finger, this finger is your left click. So it'll click and that'll interact with your desktop, which is what we're looking at right now on my computer. And then you have your right click, which is your other finger, your middle finger normally, and that'll be your right click. And that'll do things like open menus. I think we talked about that last week in our class. And so we'll talk about a little bit more of that this week. But what I wanted to show you here was the couple different shapes that you have. Even notice as I move around on my computer, how the pointer's white, but then if it goes here, it changes. And then if it goes here, it changes. If I go here over these words, did you notice that it changed also? So that's all of the different mouse shapes that we're going to talk about today. And so this one here is what we call a pointer. So generally, if you're just moving around on your desktop and you're kind of moving things around on your computer, generally you're going to have the pointer. So it looks like an arrow kind of pointing up, and it has a little stick coming out of bottom. So that's what we call the pointer right there. Okay, so that's your normal one. Let's just scroll down. So this here is called the I-beam. So when do we see the I-beam? We see the I-beam when we go to enter text. So if we see the I-beam, that means that I can type at that point. So notice I don't see the I-beam right now. I don't see the I-beam right now. But when I go down here, do you see that it changed to the I-beam when I got down to these text here? So that means I could potentially select this here. Or in this case, I can't type because of the type of document that we're looking at here. But even if I came here to this folder and I clicked one time, notice now that it gives me the I-beam when I go over it, because I can select and then I can type. So I can change that folder per se using my keyboard that I have in front of me. I could rename this business and hit. And again, as I go back on top of it, it changes to an I-beam. As I come off of it, it becomes a pointer again. So I just want to show that to you guys and demonstrate that. These are the two most ones that you'll use the most, I would say. Okay, so what do we call this one? We call this the I-beam. And then here we have the hand. So the hand is normally used to indicate that you can go on to some type of a hyperlink. What is a hyperlink? A hyperlink is when you have um, normally, like we get them in text messages, right? You can click a link and it'll take you to a website or it'll take you to another application on your computer. So the hand signal indicates that you can go to a different place somewhere that's going to link on your computer. So I'll just demonstrate here really quick. So notice here, you see the hand there. We've got the hand. So if I click here, it goes to Gmail, right? So that's what the hand does. It's going to open up a new website that you aren't currently at. Sometimes it could even open up, something else like a different application on your computer and so forth. So that is the hand. So anytime you see the hand, know that that's going to be able to take you somewhere else. This one here is the spinning wheel. So the spinning wheel, this one means that you have clicked something and it's loading. So anybody here ever clicked something and then you're like, what is it doing? Well, it's probably thinking. So oftentimes when it's thinking, you will going to get this spinning wheel right here. Okay, so the spinning wheel just means that it's thinking. So all you need to do is just pause and wait for it to do what it's doing. Normally it shouldn't be there for very long unless you're loading like a very large document. But normally if you get the spinning wheel, it just means just wait a few seconds and it should come around and then you should be where you want to be. All right. This is a good one. So this is the sign on your computer for mute. So why would we mute? Anybody here, why would we want to mute the speakers on our computer? Why would we want to use this function, the mute function?
So you don't hear the noises.
So mute is going to mute your computer. So let's say you are, let me just go to like a YouTube or something here. So let's say you're watching a YouTube video. I'm gonna just pull up a gospel song. So you're just like watching some music. You guys should be able to hear this. Can you guys hear the music?
Yes.
Okay. So you're listening to some music, you got your speakers on, you're in the moment, and then all of a sudden, like, someone comes in the room and you're like, oh, I need to mute this for a second. Or maybe you're at work and you decide, oh, I probably should mute my music. So to mute on YouTube, you can just click this button here And notice it does the signal that we just saw, right? So we just saw this is mute. So there's a mute button within YouTube, and typically any app that has any volume. The other way to do it is you can come down here if you want to just mute, because this will just mute YouTube. So if you had something else going on that had sound, it wouldn't mute that. This would just mute YouTube because we're in YouTube here. So if you wanted to mute the entire computer, you would come down to here in this bottom right menu, and you see that little speaker there. That is your volume. So if I click that one time, so again, if I left click it, left click, and then I have some different things come up here. It shows my Wi-Fi and so forth. I won't go through all of this right now, but I can click here and you can see it says mute. Even when I just put my pointer over top of the speaker, it says mute. So it's telling me what's going to happen if I click that button right there. So if I click that, what do we get?
No.
We got the mute. So that mutes the entire computer right there.
Nothing.
So I can click it one more time and it goes back off. There we go. Perfect. Any questions on that? No?
No.
Okay. Perfect. So again, let's see here. Let's go back down. Okay. And then here's another one that we just saw also right next to my speaker. I'm going to just actually go back on unmute there. So this is for the Wi-Fi, exactly. So Wi-Fi connection. So on your computer, on your phone, on your tablet, you should see something like this if it's connected to the Wi-Fi. I'm not going to turn my Wi-Fi off right now because it would end our call. And I don't want to do that. But yes, this is the Wi-Fi. So anytime you click here, it's showing right now that my computer is connected to the Wi-Fi. And does anyone know what this is under it? What is this XF setup DA10? Anyone know what that is?
No.
No, that is the name of the Wi-Fi network. So anytime you're in public or you're traveling in a hotel, even when you're at home, there's probably going to be multiple Wi-Fi networks that are going to be within range of you. And so I live in a neighborhood where I have multiple neighbors that live across the street. I have neighbors that live behind me, on each side of me. And so each one of us have a thing like this. I'll just go ahead and show you guys. So this is a router. I'm going to actually stop sharing my screen for just a second. So this is a router. It's just looks like a white box, some things, some power plugs into it, some internet things. You probably have one of these in your home. And so your house probably, most likely, is connected to the internet under the ground. But then when you get in your house, normally people don't want to be, plugged directly in by wire to the internet. It's much easier to have one of these in your house. This is a router, a Wi-Fi router, and it just takes the internet so the internet will come in right here as a cable. And then this just puts out a signal in your home called Wi-Fi. So it'll produce a Wi-Fi network that other devices in your home can connect to with a password. And you come up with a password.
That's the password. Otherwise you can't.
So the Wi-Fi comes into your house. It connects on a cable right here. And then this puts out a wireless signal that any device in your house can connect to, but it'll ask, what is the password? My particular device here, on the bottom of it, I won't show it to you. We just got a new router. I haven't even set it up. My son's going to set it up tonight after this call. But our device has the password on the bottom, and it has the name of the Wi-Fi network that it's going to put out. So what do I mean by Wi-Fi network? So let's go back to share my screen. So what do I mean by Wi-Fi network? So when I click here on Wi-Fi again, and you see this XF setup DA10, that's the name of the network. So if I hit this button to the right of the Wi-Fi sign, these are all of the Wi-Fi networks in my local area. So someone's house has a Wi-Fi network called Utopia EXT. Someone else near my home has a Wi-Fi network called this and Utopia. And you see that they have that lock sign on it. That means that it's password protected. Because obviously, if you're paying for Wi-Fi at your home, you don't want other people outside your home to get to it without having the password, because that's going to use up your data. And normally the more people using a Wi-Fi network at once, it'll slow it down, right? Just like anything, right? And that would be expected. So a couple questions. Let's just review really quick because that was a lot of information. So what is this signal right here? What does this sign show? What does that mean?
Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi. And then when we click it, what is this right here under it? What is that called? XF setup. What does that mean?
The name of the
name of the
name.
That's the name of the network. Exactly. And then when I click here, what are all these options?
Those are the networks around you.
Wi-Fi network that is around
Wi-Fi
you.
Exactly. These are the other networks in my available area. So if I went to your house, I wouldn't see these networks. I would see the other networks, again, being put out by the modems of the people that are near me. Okay. All right. Good job, you guys. Good. Very good. Very good. Okay. And then this signal here means you have no Wi-Fi connection. I am not going to demonstrate that one because it would end our meeting abruptly. But essentially, if it doesn't have the little bars in it, then that means you don't have a Wi-Fi connection. So obviously, if you don't have a Wi-Fi connection, that would mean that you cannot access the internet. Okay. And it may look like this also. So either one of these are going to be no Wi-Fi signal. Okay, perfect. Alrighty. So again, just to review, what do we call this on my screen right now? What do we call that? We talked but this particular shape, do we call it I-beam or pointer?
Pointer.
Yeah, and then when I click text, so it goes from being a pointer to what? What does that look like?
I-beam.
The I-beam, exactly. And then when we go to here, see, now it turned into a hand. What does that do if I was to click now?
You go to new ground.
And then also see up here, when we're on the internet, you'll see that I have a pointer, but then when I go up to here, you can see that it turns into an I-beam. Okay. Yep. Okay. Good to go there. All right. Go back to my curriculum and see where we're at here. Okay. So let's just look at some other things here. So when I right click on my computer, anybody remember who was here last week? What happens when you right click on your desktop? Of course, this is the desktop here. What happens when I right click on the desktop?
It
brings up a menu, right? And then I can make a new folder. I can make new documents. This is a folder. Of course, remember, folders can hold folders or folders can hold other documents. So in this case, I'm just right clicking on the desktop. I'm going to click on new, and then I'm going to left click on folder. Notice that when I'm not on the folder, I again have the pointer, but then when I go back to here, I get the I-beam. I can select, and then I can type over it. So I'm going to call this one, I'll just call this one personal. And then I'm going to hit enter. Okay. Now notice when I go back over it, it stays a pointer. So that means that if I can just click and hold here, and it's just going to move that document or this folder around. So I'm just left clicking, click, drag and drop, right? I think we talked about that last week. Click, drag and drop. But the pointer remains there. Okay. All right, let me open up a internet page. I'm going to go to, actually, you know what? We'll just stay on the Mission Africa page. So this is the Mission Africa page right here. Again, notice when I go up into the URL, so this bar here is where I can type in the address of a website I want to go to. And notice that the pointer changes to a I-beam, which indicates that I can type in that area. Same thing here. See, we have Mission Africa here. So I have the hand. And again, the hand means that if I click it, it's going to take me somewhere. So let's say I was on the Mission Africa website and I wanted to read about digital navigation, which is what we're doing here. So Mission Africa obviously is the host for this training that we're doing. And so they have some information under digital navigation. So say I want to get that information. I can just click on digital navigation using the hand. And this might look familiar to some of you guys. And then here we have our flyer. And all the information. It talks about our classes on Saturday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. Notice that it has a link down here. So anytime, again, we see that hand, we can see that that's a link. And here I see view photos from our digital navigation classes. So again, we've got the hand. So if I click there, you'll see that we have photos here. And these are all photos that we took from our classes. So again, I just want to demonstrate here how the hand works. So if I wanted to then, let's see here, if I wanted to download something, like let's say I wanted to download this photo right here. Again, because we have the hand, you see that that means I can click it. So I left clicked it and it opened it up.
You're right.
Did someone say something? Okay.
Somebody is talking.
Okay. Did sound like somebody was talking. Okay. And so if I wanted to download this, I would just click here and it would download. I'm not going to do that today, but it would just like left click and then I would be able to download this photo. So again, the main thing is to just know that anytime the hand shows up, if you're on the internet and you're browsing the internet, that hand is going to indicate that you can click to go to the next section. Okay. All right. All right, so again, to review, we would adjust our volume right here. Just click there. And this time, let's say we wanted to adjust our volume. We already looked at when we want to change or mute our volume, we can click this button here. But if you want to move the volume up or down, you can just use this slider here. You just left click here. I can increase the volume or I can decrease the volume. And notice that this changes as I'm moving the volume. See, as I move down, it gets smaller. Notice as I move up, that volume signal gets bigger. And also notice that it also changes down here. So I'll do that again. So watch down here to what happens. So as I increase the volume, it's increasing down at the bottom. And then as I decrease the volume, it's going to also do the same thing. Very nice function to be able to do that. And there's also normally, if you are using, a standard keyboard, normally you can also increase and decrease the volume using the buttons on your keyboard too. It's a little bit different on each keyboard, but you can normally do that on your keyboard also. Okay, so last thing I want to show you is if you are on YouTube, and let's say we are watching let's go back to that same thing there. Let's say we're watching this one.
Most people have no clue that in 2023 the best
I'll just
way
wait
to
for this
make money
commercial to be
on
over.
Amazon is not.
Okay, so let's say we're listening to this, we're enjoying it, and we're like, you know what? I don't want to see all this other stuff on my screen. You just want to see this. So to do that, there's all these buttons here down at the bottom of the video. So of course, here we have pause, or play. So if I hit it again, it plays. If I hit it one more time, it pauses. I'm gonna go ahead and let it play. If I hit this button, it'll go to the end. Here we can increase the volume, or we can just move it here. Okay. If I click here, it'll autoplay. I won't get into all of that, but the bottom line is I want to show you that all the way over here in the far right hand, though, I'm going to just move this back a little bit. Right here, we have full screen. And so if I click full screen, this is going to go into that. So it's going to look really nice. It takes up your full screen. But when you're done being in full screen, you can move your mouse and it'll wake it up. So let's say I leave my mouse for, I don't know, 5-10 seconds. Notice that everything goes away. We just have the screen. But then when you move your mouse, it brings up these things at the bottom. So you can, of course, pause it, or you can come here and you can exit full screen. So the same area, but notice that it looks like it's now bringing it in. So you just click there and it comes right back to that area where you can now see and do other things on your computer. The other way to get out of full screen is, let's say I'm in full screen and you don't know where your mouse is. You're like, oh my goodness, I want to get out of this. And you forgot that you can move your mouse. The other thing you can do is you can hit escape on your keyboard. So I'm going to hit escape. And notice that it does the same thing. It just comes right back out. Okay. All right. All righty. Let's see. Just one second. We have someone that keeps joining, but I think they're having a hard time getting audio. Her name's Hannah. She's joined a couple times. She hasn't been able to get audio though. Okay. I'm trying to help her out as we go here. Okay. Okay. So let's go ahead to handout B. So let's review. All right. So you guys can unmute here and help me out. So which one of these, so we have some different mouse shapes over here, and then we have some text over here. So let's start at the bottom. What does this signal indicate? Does this indicate connected to the internet? This one here, connected to the internet, no sound, wait, open files, open links, or insert and change the text. This one right here.
No sound.
No sound.
No sound, exactly. How about this one right here above it?
Network.
Connect to the internet. How about this one? Out of these over here, does it no sound? Does it mean wait? Open files or folders? Open links or insert text? This one right here. We briefly went over this one. We haven't seen it a lot. This one will circle. So normally when you see this one, it's just circling. Anybody want to guess what that one might be?
Pinning her.
The internet.
Pinning her. Opening.
Pending. It means wait. Yes. So this means that the computer's thinking, and it'll normally just circle around. So you'll see it going like this. It just means the computer's thinking about something, is processing something. Okay. And then how about this one? The hand. What does that mean? Does that use to insert text?
Opening to a new browse.
Open links. What did you guys say?
Opening to a new browse.
Oh, opening links. Yeah. Opening links. So that's when you're in YouTube and you're clicking different things and it's opening new windows, or it's playing the video or stopping the video. That's the hand. How about this one here? The I-beam. What does that one do?
When you are texting.
When you are texting.
Insert, change text.
You're
Exactly.
writing.
And then this last one here, the pointer, what does this one do? Open links, open files and folders. Does it wait? No sound, or help you connect to the internet? The
Open
pointer one.
folders.
Open files
folders.
and folders. Excellent. Yes, you guys got it. Perfect, 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 perfect. Okay. Let me just keep going here and see what else we got here. Okay. Pretty simple lesson here. We're actually almost done for this one because this is a pretty basic one, but if we were in class, I would have you guys on your own computers basically do what I just did now and kind of explore using the different mouse shapes and what they all do. Obviously, we don't have that available right now. So this is a little bit quicker lesson. Let's see what else we got here. You know what? I think you guys have done pretty good, and you guys have answered actually most of the questions. So I'm going to pause here and see if anybody has any questions for me about anything we've covered today so far. Nope. Okay. Then I will, oh, Hannah, you got volume. Excellent. Good. I'm glad you're able, I saw you keep coming back on and off, so I'm glad that you were able to get volume there. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen and just show a little bit more of the menu in the bottom right then, since we have a little bit of extra time today. So again, let's explore this menu down here in the bottom right. So let's just kind of look around here. So we have this arrow here. Let's click that. And there's a couple different things here. These are all different applications that I can open just with the click of a button. So I'm not going to open them right now, but these are all just different applications, which is essentially the same thing as an app on your phone. It's just called an application typically on your computer. Also, we have here, let's see, it says apps using the microphone. So this is showing me that my microphone is active right now. Why is my microphone active? Of course, I'm speaking on Zoom right now, so the microphone is being used on the computer. So if I click that, it actually brings up a menu over here on my other screen that I'm looking at right now. But I'm going to go ahead and leave it active because I don't want to mess with that while I'm speaking with you guys. Again, going back to the speaker. So if I click on the speaker here, it'll actually let me increase the volume. You see here, this is showing that my computer's battery power is at 100%. To the right of the speaker, we have select sound output. So these are a couple different speaker devices. So I have my two displays. So I have two different displays to my left and right now, and they have speakers on them. So I could use those speakers. I could use the speakers that came with the laptop, but right now I'm using the speakers that are attached to these headphones. And so if you ever want to change it, and maybe I wanted to use the speakers on the laptop, I would just click right here and it would switch to those speakers. And now these speakers, I can't hear anything because I deactivated them. So I'm actually going to go back to headset earphone so that I can hear you guys well. Right here, this one is for brightness. So brightness is going to obviously make your computer more bright or less bright right here. So this is, I'm on full brightness right now, but notice, like, just watch my screen as I move this down. Did you notice it get any darker? Okay, it's mainly doing it on my main screen. It's not doing it a whole lot on this screen right now. But on my main screen, it's darkening it. Why would you want to, anybody have any thoughts on why would you want to darken your screen all the way down? Why would you want to darken your screen? Normally you want it bright, but why would you want it dark? Anybody ever been driving and the person in the back of the car or in the front of the car has a really bright phone and it's dark outside?
To protect your eyes.
It's distracting, right? Or have you ever been in bed and maybe you're looking at your phone and it's really bright at night because it's so dark in the room? So that white light is really bright. Okay. So that's one of the times when you want to bring your brightness down because it's not going to be so harsh on your eyes, because when you're in a dark room and you have a really bright screen, it's actually a little bit harder to look at. And so being able to bring that brightness back down is going to be very nice on your eyes. Okay, right here next to the Wi-Fi sign, like we talked about, we have Wi-Fi, and then I can click here, and you can actually change Wi-Fi's while you're on one. So right now I'm on mine. So my Wi-Fi network in my home is called XF Setup DA10 Secure. You can actually put a better name on it than that, but that was the name that my Wi-Fi came with. But if I click this button right here, it would completely turn my laptop off from connecting to any Wi-Fi. So of course I don't want to do that right now. It would end our call if I click that. So if you do click this though, you won't see any networks. So if you ever click Wi-Fi and you're not seeing any networks show up, only two things can be possible. Either you have the laptop or the device you're on, you've turned off the Wi-Fi connection, so it's not looking to connect to Wi-Fi. Or two, you're in an area where there is no Wi-Fi connection. Now, if you're in the Tacoma, Seattle, King County, Pierce County area, that's not likely that you're not close to any networks. You're likely close to several networks. So the thing that I would check is to make sure that your Wi-Fi toggle button, so this is a toggle button, when it's on, it's going to be dark. If I clicked this, it would turn a lighter color, and that would indicate to me that my Wi-Fi is turned off and my computer's not going to be able to connect to the internet. Same thing here, Bluetooth. Let's talk about Bluetooth for a second. Who here has used Bluetooth, and what does Bluetooth do?
Connect to the device.
Connected device. Yeah, exactly. Trying to see if I have any Bluetooth devices near me. Normally, Bluetooth might be a pair of headphones. Could be Bluetooth. Okay. Here, I have a mouse. My mouse does not have any wires coming out of it. And same thing with my keyboard. My keyboard does not have any wires coming out of it. So that means that it's Bluetooth connected to my computer. And so if I go to Bluetooth here, again, if I click this, it would completely turn off all Bluetooth. But I want to keep it on, but I'm just going to click this. And when you turn that on, you see a couple different Bluetooth devices that are near my computer. And some of these are like headphones. Here's a wireless speaker. You have a mouse, a couple different devices. I'm going to go ahead and turn it off for now. So that's all there in this menu. Over here, we have project. Oh, I'm sorry. One more button here. Airplane mode. Airplane mode is when you're obviously on the airplane and they say, please turn your devices into airplane mode. What does that mean? That means that your device is going to stop looking for any type of internet connection. It's basically just going to be what we call a standalone device. So it's no longer looking to connect to anything. So it's not going to be sending any signals out. It's not going to be looking for any signals to be received. It's just going to be a standalone device, not looking to connect to anything in your area. So if I hit airplane mode, it would cut off my Wi-Fi and my Bluetooth at the same time. So I obviously don't want to do that right now. Let's see, and then project here. Project is a really cool function. You have to have a little bit of extra hardware close, like a projector or maybe a TV. But some laptops, if you have the right materials, you can project your laptop screen onto a TV or onto a different monitor, which is a really nice function if you want to get like a bigger monitor or something like that so you can see a little bit better. Okay. Any questions on any of that we just shared?
Can you
Okay.
spell for us the name iBeam?
Oh, iBeam. Yes.
Mm.
You want me to explain what that is again?
No, I want you to spell it for me, the name.
Oh, yes. Yes, I can definitely do that. So let me just do it right here. I can actually just pull up the PDF again. Here we go, right here. So I-Beam. So pointer, iBeam, hand, spinning wheel,
I can't
Wi-Fi.
see it on my side.
Let's see here. Sorry about that. Here we go. Sorry about that. There you go.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
Screen
Wow.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Typing.
Here's the answers to the test.
Yeah.
So there you go. And so this one talks about what is mouse shape called, of course, and then what is its actual use. Yep. So again, I want to encourage all of you guys, if you haven't already, I really want to encourage you guys to